thank you, ma'am. I dressed up for this. It's a special occasion.
What did they ask you?
They asked me if you had anything to do with this, and I told them that I didn't know.
In all seriousness.
In all seriousness, they just asked me if I knew anything of any corruption, if anybody had offered me anything that was incorrect or improper, and I don't know if anybody ever offered me something that was improper.
Do you know of anybody offering anybody else anything improper?
I don't know of anything. I'm not in the know down there. I mean, people know pretty much where I stand on issues, and so I don't get courted a lot with regard to changing my mind and changing my position on things. I'm very steadfast in where I am, and be it good or bad, I'm there.
What has been your position on the electronic bingo issue?
I am very much in favor of an up or down vote for a clean bill that has no contingencies, and one that deliberately and actually gives the people the right to vote for bingo or for gambling. I don't like the word bingo because I do not think it's bingo.
Regarding the testimony that you gave up there, how long were you actually in the room, and did they discuss anything that didn't have anything to do with gambling?
They discussed several things that did not have to do with gambling, but I was in the room about an hour and 20 minutes.
What other things did they discuss?
They discussed things of any other nature that I might have been offered to change other votes with regard to other legislation. If I had been given anything improper for votes, basically, if I had been told that they would not help me if I didn't help them, or to threaten me, things of that nature.
And your answer was
no, I have not. I don't suffer those problems. Everybody likes me.
Are you surprised that there is a corruption probe into the legislature?
No, I'm not. I'm not surprised at all. I mean, I think it's been a long time coming. I think that the guilty parties will be found out, and I think that will help us in our quest for transparency in government. We have so much that goes on that even the reports don't come out. I mean, the media doesn't even expound on everything that happens down there.
Clarify for us a little bit. You say that you're not surprised about the probe, but at the same time you had not witnessed the corruption yourself.
I hear stories about it, and I know that there are things that go on. Again, when you're fairly clean slated as I am, I'm very clean slated. I don't get the offers. I mean, the offers. Nobody comes to me and makes offers to me, things like that. I just don't get exposed to that.
But what type of corruption do you know of?
The only thing I know of is people taking trips maybe that are probably a little out of kilter, that are a little extravagant, and nothing comes to mind. I've been offered trips to North Carolina fishing for 5 days, and it's sponsored by Blue Cross Blue Shield and R.J. Reynolds. Now, how's that for a team? Things of that nature, and I don't participate in those because I just don't have time. I'm too busy talking to people like y'all.
How long were you in there?
About an hour and 20 minutes.
No. Not waiting to go in, but actually in the grand jury room.
Talking to the people.
An hour, 20 minutes.
That's a long time.
That's a long time to not to know anything. That's right.
A long time. They kept trying to make me know more than I knew. That is a long time. And they took 2 breaks while I was there.
Did they ask you about any specific lobbyists?
Yeah, they asked me who I knew down there, and I explained that I knew everybody. And then they asked me how well I knew Bob Getty, how well I knew Harry McMillan, how well I knew Claire Austin, how well I knew who else? Dan Martin, Perry Hooper Jr. They just named just asked me how well I knew all of them, and I explained I knew them all. So there's no surprises.
Did any of the grand jurors ask you any questions?
Only one. One asked me why what benefit I thought I would get from my friendship with Milton McGregor, because I had made a statement that there was no sense in me poking fingers in his eyes if I didn't have to, and with regard to after the bill failed, and I said Milton and I had been friends for a lot of years. I used to live down the street from him, and we were personal acquaintances, and there was no reason for me to take issue after the vote was over, and so that was the only question I had from the juror.
And I'm sorry, what was the question again?
The question was what would I expect to gain? Because I commented that I did not. I had a conversation with Mr. McGregor the day after the bill failed in the House, and the question was, why didn't you clearly tell him at that point that you were not in favor of that bill? And I said there was no need to discuss that at that point. The vote was over, it was done, and there was no sense in poking my finger in his eye for no reason. And so then the question was, what benefit would you have gathered had you what benefit did you thwart by not saying something? And I said, the benefit of friendship. I mean, yes, I mean he's a person. He has entitlement to be free and within the law. And the bottom line to this whole thing is that I am in favor of an up or down vote. We need to get this off the plate. We need to get it off the table because our legislature has been held up for the last 4 or 5 years, and it's not going to change. And we either need to get rid of gambling or ratify it.
But you did not favor the bill that you would have voted on.
No, I did not because it had too many contingencies to it. I would have favored an up or down vote bill, which was Senate Bill, I think 333, Scott Beeson's bill.
For the
Okay.
purpose of the tape, will you say and spell your name for us?
David Grimes.